There was a moment last year where I said the word unbothered out loud in a room during a really difficult experience, and everything stopped because I knew that this word had meaning and it was true. Imagine moving through your most expansive season of your business and your life at the exact same time, learning the duality of holding it all, staying completely rooted in yourself while you do so. Present, regulated, clear, actually building from a place of steadiness. That is what Unbothered creates. It is a mastermind with a complete subconscious reprogramming toolkit built inside, so you grow and scale your business with your beliefs solid beneath you and your nervous system fully on board. I built this because I lived it. The word unbothered came to me in one of the most defining moments of my life, and I knew immediately that it was the name of my next solo book and the work I was born to teach. If you're ready to build a business from the most grounded, regulated, expansive version of yourself, the link is in the show notes to join us. Welcome to the Own Your Choices, Own Your Life podcast. You've landed in the right place to learn how to own your story, release subconscious beliefs, rewire your mind, and step into the impact you know you're here to create. Through outspoken publishing and NLP certifications, we share the tools and subconscious shifts that expand your voice, your message, your confidence, and your leadership. I am your host, Marsha Van Weinsberg, NLP trainer, speaker, author, and publisher. I am thrilled you are here. Let's get started. Welcome back to the show. We are in the middle of this Unbothered series, and this is probably one of the most common questions I get asked is Unbothered numb? And it's not. Numb is something that I can speak very clearly to because it was a way I spent most of my entire life, is shoving the feelings down, being, honored for being the strong one, the armor, all those pieces that you lose track and you don't even know how to feel. And this is the difference. When we're speaking about unbothered, it's like building the capacity to hold without being constantly consumed by it, right? I always say, if you are repeating a story that happened like yesterday, last week, a month ago, 5 years ago, or longer, and you're going over all the details, you're still living in that story. And if you're living in that story, you're not processing it in the way that can support you to move forward. With Unbothered, there's a different perspective. It's interesting because if anybody who's been here from the very beginning, I have always talked about from the lens of in your story versus on your story. In your story is exactly as I just described, where you are sharing the details. You're stuck in all of the details of what happened, who did what, who said what, who screwed up. And it's underneath that current is it's happening to you. That is a feeling that it's like life is happening to you. Now, again, not a big proponent of life is happening for you. This is just my own personal preference. I do like to lean in that everything is teaching us something, right? We get to choose how we respond to everything. And so when we're in this space of, in my story versus on my story, when you're in your story, you don't have a lot of perspective. You're still in a victim mindset. You're still, this is happening to me and it's not fair. And listen, zero judgment about any of that because I spent most of my life in that victim mindset without even realizing it because it was just emotions shoved down so deeply that I could just be numb and stoic and strong and hide what I was walking through and experiencing. And that's where I lived. It really is where I lived. So this is like one of the most common pushbacks I get when it comes to what the difference is between numb and unbothered. And let me just clarify pushback, which I think is actually kind of interesting. Because if it is triggering something in you, it's because there's something there for you. Let me say that again. If it's triggering something in you, it's because there's something there for you. It's speaking to you because there's a mirror somewhere that is part of you that's like, I don't get why she says that. And I'm curious. See, one of the people who actually jumped into Unbothered, I don't know her. We actually just connected like the day before it started. And she openly shared that you're saying things that are kind of triggering me and I don't understand why. And so I can either like be resistant or I can lean in to learn. And I'm like, that's what she did. And she was like, no, I'm in, I'm doing it. So it's just been so interesting because you get to choose what that mirror is, right? What is it saying to you? And maybe there's a part of you that thinks that it's impossible to be unbothered when life is going sideways around you and still continue with your business and your life and things that are happening in the best way possible, right? Not perfect. It's never about perfect, but it is in the best way possible. You might think that that's actually impossible to do. And I would say, yeah, I believe the same thing for a really long time. I really, really did. But the thing is that when we are numb, when we put that armor up and it's so strong, so heavy, and it blocks all emotions, right? Because we cannot, Brene Brown, we cannot selectively block emotions. We block one, we block them all. Just how it works. And so all of a sudden, if you're blocking the pain, avoiding the pain, you are actually blocking joy, blocking gratitude, blocking love, blocking receiving, all of it. All of it. It's just how it works. And so but why do you do it then, right? You know why? It's a survival strategy. You learned somewhere in your formative years, you learned somewhere there was a subconscious message that landed for you that you were rewarded for being the strong one. You were rewarded for just pushing through and not being an issue for anyone, right? Not being someone that they had to worry about. And then you get rewarded for it. And then sometimes what happens is that you actually then seek out situations where you have to be the warrior, you have to fight to push your way through so that you can achieve it, so that you can show that, yes, see, I can do it. How do I know that? Because that was me. That was me for a big chunk of my life. I would keep searching and finding the same situations and same people to show how strong I was. And did I build strength along the way? Yeah. But was it hard? Yeah, it was hard and heavy sometimes, more than it needed to be. And so what happens is that this survival strategy, you build it in being numb and your nervous system is in constant high alert to protect you and like shut that volume down and ignore everything else that's happening. You turn down the heightened emotions and then you turn them all down because you can't selectively block emotions. And so then all of a sudden, you're less present in your life. You're probably harboring some form of resistance that's showing up for you because it feels not fair that you keep walking through this. And I'm sure I'm not the only person who's calling out, like, if you're feeling this was me for so long. And that's the cost is it continues to turn everything down. You're not fully present. You might not feel fully aware of what's happening. And your nervous system doesn't trust you in a sense because it's like trying to stay in this high alert at all times, but it doesn't know how to process emotions. I spent so many years feeling this way, like literally feeling this way in the same way that so many high functioning, high achieving entrepreneurial women, let me just call it out for a second, feel the same way. I know they do. They're in this way of like high functioning and feeling numb, and feeling numb because it's almost like I don't have time to process that. And I don't have the capacity to. I don't know what that's going to look like. And you know what I think is underneath this? Again, reflecting on myself here. What is underneath of that is this fear of what's that emotion going to be like? I don't know what that is like. It's almost like we are afraid of what it's going to feel like to be able to experience those emotions, right? Like almost it's an uncertainty of what it is because it's new. Our subconscious mind will always choose what is safe, predictable, and familiar. And so if all of a sudden you're like watching people experiencing a certain level of joy, it's like, I don't even know how to tap into that. That feels weird to me. I've got this like kid-like quality that it took me probably 5 decades to find. And I actually have to like almost like create play dates for her to come out because it's not second nature for me. It's not. Yet it's an inner child play that I love to come out. I do. But I have to create scenarios for her to do it because it's not normal. It is not my norm. Yet it feels great when I do it. So remember, our subconscious mind will always choose what is safe, predictable, and familiar. If you haven't processed these emotions, you haven't come through it, it's easier for you to throw the armor up and pretend than it is to feel it and experience it. We've got these messages installed that you can't be too much, right? Don't be too emotional. Like people like strong women, right? That's what it looks like. And it doesn't have to look like that. I'm here to be of evidence that it doesn't have to look that way. You can rewire it. You can 100% rewire it. And so in these last couple of years, I shared how, I went through my own personal breakthrough day in my master practitioner. And I was floored at how cracked open I was in that breakthrough day. I'm not saying that's going to be the same for everyone. So if you're thinking of a breakthrough day, an incredible experience. It's literally like collapsing 6 months of coaching into a day. And for me, I did not know how to process anger and sadness. And I was actually really proud of the fact that I could, I was a shield. Anger, sure, got it. But as soon as that anger started to open, then the sadness came in, and it was really hard. It was really hard, I'm not gonna lie. And one of the best things that have ever happened to me, all of a sudden it was like, "Oh, it's okay to feel emotions. Oh, it's okay to cry. It's okay to feel deeply." And you might be listening to this laughing going, "That's weird. What do you mean?" Well, it was never modeled and it was never safe to do so. And in doing so, I actually think it helped me to become more unbothered when things are happening, when they are going wrong. You get to decide what it looks like. I just want this message to land for you that they are not the same thing, not even close. So ask yourself, if unbothered is like triggering you for a reason, ask yourself why. What is it? What mirror is it showing you? And how do you feel about the word numb? Is it something that you have been a part of and experienced? Is it something that you're like, yeah, that's me? Or is it something you've worked through? Because from the outside, okay, this is really important. From the outside, they look the same. You would have no idea. You would have no idea. I promise you, there are people in my life who had no idea because strong, stoic, like numb from the outside kind of still looks like me, unbothered. The turmoil and the anxiousness that was happening behind the scenes, you didn't see it, but it was there. It was 100% there. You just didn't see it. And so as I did this, it's been like 3 years of rewiring and still doing it, right? Still doing it. You know what else has happened? I think this is an important piece to share is that because of this work, because of this, rewiring and seeing numb and unbothered differently, the depth of my relationships, my personal, my friendships, my, working relationships, my collaborations, the depth of my relationship with myself has changed because it's no longer numb. We open up and have beautiful conversations. I mean, I see myself differently. It's changed so many things. If you listen to the episode 1000, you would have heard there's one point at the end where I paused and gave gratitude back to myself for starting when it didn't make sense. And I started crying in the live audience. Thank you, Sue, for not removing any of that or editing it. I did. I started crying and it caught me completely off guard. I was like, whoa, almost startled. And you know why? Because we can give so much like love and gratitude to other people. Yet when we turn and give it back to ourselves, it almost hits this nerve of discomfort. Like, oh my gosh, this is a lot. This is a lot. And I'm so glad that I did. I'm so glad that I did. That has allowed the depth of all these relationships to change, including the one I have with myself. So this is my personal story to share. Numb and unbothered, completely different. Completely different. The world does not need, I'm going to speak to women for a second. Let me just say this. I have had men reaching out to me about the concept of unbothered. Okay. They're like, this is speaking to me. And that's been part of my journey is learning to speak about it so that it can reach the people it's meant to. I'm going to speak to women for a second. The world does not need more numb, stoic, fighting, warrior, strong women who can't feel their emotions or speak about what they need. We do not need that anymore. Let's just say that whole chapter it's enough. Okay. It's enough. We need more heart-led, heart-wired leaders to be able to speak, share their message, put it out there. That is what's going to change the world. I promise you it's going to change the world. So let's talk a little bit about this, continue this conversation. Ask yourself, numb versus unbothered, how is it landing for you? Please know that even if you recognize the numb in yourself, you're not doing it wrong. You have been probably trained this way and you're just unlearning so that you can learn a new way. That's what rewiring, subconscious reprogramming, nervous system regulation in the moment looks like. I am sending you so much love. If this speaks to you, if you have questions, DM me, drop me a message. I am just forever cheering you on. Have an incredible day. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Own Your Choices, Own Your Life. I invite you to tag me on social media with your takeaways or share it with a friend. If you feel called, please leave a 5-star review and I would be forever grateful. Until next time, remember, when you own your choices, you own your life.